and the distance.
Break the press. Shumway, kick, corner three, Thompson away, good. A Wyoming Army National Guard triple for Zach Thompson. And the Braves take Star Valley run. It makes it a 19-12 game. He's still with that lead. Erickson fakes the pass, drives the post, shots good. They count it and the foul. Roman Erickson.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Jake Hibbard. Welcome into another sports night, the last of the calendar year. But do not fear, we'll be back for 2025, just taking a little bit of a break for Christmas. By the way, Happy Christmas, Merry New Year, or however that works. I'm stuck in an orb of non-sub-existence. I don't get out much is what I'm trying to say. We had the winter season start up this weekend. Flaming Gorge coming up for the girls basketball team this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Preston is the site for the boys basketball team, and wrestling on the road at Marsh Valley for the girls and at home for the boys. Speaking of wrestling, coming up in the 2025 season, I'll be talking with one of our own SVI's wrestling analysts to break down what's happened so far in the year for both the girls and the boys, and what's to come. As usual, we've got a great wrestling season shaping up in the Valley. Well, let's start with the boys basketball program as they head off to Idaho in the home of Napoleon Dynamite, Kip, and the Llama. Speaking of which, well, ironically, the sports llama, Dow, will be in Flaming Gorge and Green River. But never mind that. Back to the games. Thunder Ridge is the first opponent for Star Valley tomorrow night. They come into the season 2-2 with wins over Blackfoot and Idaho Falls and losses to Hillcrest and Bonneville. Star Valley is their first out-of-state competition for this Idaho team. Overall, it's a pretty balanced scoring attack led by junior power forward Camden Bateman, but the top 6 minute getters for Thunder Ridge all average between 5 and 10.8 points per game. A few notes for this team: they like to run, but aren't necessarily strong at finishing at the rim consistently, at least not yet. And this team also shoots a lot of threes, but has made just 22 of 92 attempts on the season. That being said, they move the ball well to get their shooters like Kyler Sparks and Deegan Branson open, and in the fast break, multiple players on this team play at or above the rim. So there's definitely a chance that this game becomes a bit of a track meet. The team's floor general is senior Max Haycock. He averages 4.5 assists per game, and Deegan Branson is the opposite guard. He's the second leading scorer, but most importantly, Branson's averaging 3 steals per game. I don't have a tape measure available, but from the film, Branson looks like a positive wingspan player, and he uses this to his advantage on the ball to poke possessions away and get the fast break started for his team. Down low, Bateman and post player Keith Brown both average at least 7 rebounds per game, and off the bench, Kyler Sparks is just that, the spark off the bench. He's the leading 3-point shooter, although on the season he's averaging just 33%. That game kicks off tomorrow on SVI News at 3 o'clock. If Star Valley wins, they face off against Timberline tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. A loss would mean a 3 o'clock game against Roy. Information I have for Timberline: they're 3-2 overall. Max Preps ranks them as the 22nd best team in all of Idaho, so I guess that. And they've had wins over Taylorsville and American Fork recently, and an early season win against Bishop Kelly. I can't predict the future, but if Star Valley is able to get all the way into the championship match in Preston on Saturday, I think there's a decent chance they end up playing the host school, Preston. Preston comes in 6-0, and they're outscoring their opponents by an average of 24.5 points per game. Most recently, they put up 90 points against Blackfoot, led by Reggie Larson's 22 points and Cruz Harris's 21. Harris and Larson are a dynamic duo for Preston. They're high-flying, they play well on both ends of the floor, and if Star Valley can get a matchup with them on Saturday, it's about all you could want for a preseason meeting. And we mentioned him earlier, but the sports llama, Dal Erickson, will be bringing you girls basketball coverage live from Green River and Rock Springs this weekend at the Flaming Gorge Classic as Duke dances his way out in Preston. Hey, dancing in Preston, anyone? I can't believe I've never thought about bringing up Napoleon Dynamite with Preston before. And starting off on Thursday at Rock Springs High School, 6 o'clock, Star Valley has an East-West 4A matchup against Laramie. Laramie's 1-2 on the year. Their only win comes against Kelly Walsh, 45-36. The catalysts for this Laramie team are Carson Milam and Samantha Matthews, a senior and junior combo, who combine for 23 points per game, which is more than 50% of the offensive output. Milam also puts up 7 rebounds per game. As a team, here's what I've seen from Laramie. They get a lot of turnovers, but they turn the ball over a lot themselves, and about 40% of their shots come from beyond the arc, but they're only shooting about 17%. Nevertheless, expect this to be an ugly game if Laramie gets their way, and it should be a difficult first matchup. On Friday at Flaming Gorge, the Star Valley girls have Rollins. That's at 2:40 p.m. on SVI News with the tip. Rollins 0-3, and they're averaging just 15.5 points per game. And finally, Saturday, Star Valley faces Pinedale at 3:40 p.m. on SVI News. This is probably as difficult a matchup as they'll see all year long. Pinedale comes in 3-0, and folks, this 3A town has 3 girls shooting over 43% from beyond the arc, and leading the way is Ellen Bowers, the Eastern Washington-bound senior point guard, averaging 29 points, 4.7 assists, and a 43% clip from the arc. As you might expect, Bowers also causes a lot of chaos defensively and excels at starting or finishing the fast break. A lot like if Star Valley's boys could get to the championship and maybe face off against Preston on Saturday. For the girls, this is as tough of a preseason matchup as you can find. Now let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend in wrestling for Star Valley. The girls will be at Marsh Valley for a tournament on Friday and Saturday, and the boys will be home at Star Valley. You can catch this on Saturday. That's it for me. Thanks so much for joining in all year long. I hope to see you in 2025.